I have this experience where I smelled something like hot chocolate, and then within a week I hear a news of someone's passing away. The smell was sensed in my car. I had no food or drink over there, and there was no food or animal to be seen around the place. It was midwinter, all the leaves are gone, not a single vehicle or person was to be seen. I later learned that when someone close to you is going to pass away, he or she may inform you of it by giving a sweet smell. Some others say it could be a smell of cigarette or perfume, which the dying person might be attached to. When I hear those things, I used to think that it was not true. Some people think too much. For example, someone looks up the sky and says, that fish skin looking clouds indicate that there will be an earthquake somewhere. To which I would say, earthquake happen anywhere, anytime. It happens every day in Japan. It's one of those common clouds. But it sometimes happens that something can be indicated by those little things. I have seen some small animal, a transparent being, walking around me all day long. I felt my cat was coming toward me or passing me by, but she was somewhere else. It was nothing unusual, a phenomenon, by the way. I see those transparent animal-like beings in the house sometimes. My family and I came to the conclusion that this cat was probably living in this apartment in the past, but she shows up because our cat is living happily with us and it wants to join us. But this time it may not be that cat we're seeing sometimes. It appears too often this time, and the physical distance was different than the usual being. And several days later, I received a text message from my mom saying, Kotaro passed away tonight. Kotaro is a dog who lived with my parents for about 15 years. There was a picture attached to her message. His dead body was placed inside a box. And then I started to guess that the transparent being might have been Kotaro, who wanted to say goodbye. I tend to overlook the signs indicated before something happens, or I'm more likely to notice such a little sign much later. We live in a busy, materialistic world anyway. In many cases, messages are manifested like subtle wind or a slight touch on my face or other body part. Or it could be a tiny bug flying in front of us. But it's difficult to catch and interpret it correctly. In many cases, there's nothing to interpret from it, it's just there. I have realized that the important thing here is to distinguish those indications, like some farmland products be put into a barn or others thrown away. There's no scientific way of proving which one is real and which one isn't. It will be as difficult as reading the tarot cards, which may be interpreted differently depending on the reader. And there are mistaken readings too. Or reversely, a person or persons may call for what card to be displayed. Our hidden consciousness might call for the manifestation of reality we're going to see, whether we like it or not. Reciting the Buddhist Heart Sutra, in Japanese it's called Hanya Shingyo, I always come to this point of view. Being dead is interchangeable with being alive. The state of emptiness is equal to or interchangeable with the existing space-time. The Heart Sutra, Hanya Shingyo, says, Shoho Kuso, or every law, statute we perceive is marked by emptiness. On the other hand, in the Lotus Sutra, Hokekyo in Japanese, I find another phrase, shoho jisso, or every law statute we perceive is marked by reality. My personal experience tells me somehow that there is nothing to contradict between these two phrases. But unfortunately, I don't have a clue as to how these things work. Really, no clue. I can only say that this stuff may have a fragrance, but I don't know how that smells. I don't even know how this thing plays out in front of my eyes. As I was speaking, this famous classic riddle came to my head all of a sudden. The riddle goes like this. In Japan, which type of hill exists more in total? Ascending hills or descending hills? The whole class laughed, but I couldn't for the life of me understand why ascending hills and descending hills are exactly the same. Now back to the topic. Ever since I started to speculate that it was Kotaro that was walking around to stay together, my cat, for some reason, started to become playful all of a sudden. She runs inside the house like she is very happy to have someone back after a temporary absence. Whatever the transparent being was, or even if it was nothing, it is so wonderful a thing, or it's even a miracle to us, that my cat has regained her vital energy now. I wonder if the mind of my anticipation or Ko-chan's presence made my cat become different, or was it really Kotaro, Ko-chan, who came all the way here to play with my cat? The phenomenon is not provable or reproducible for third party, but it's what's happening right here now for real, and we're happy with it, and everybody here sees it for real, and we live with it. An experience or reality cannot be proved or visualized for someone else. Even words cannot fully describe it. Like I could not understand what that ascending hills and descending hills are the same. Having experienced how the dead links to a living being, I wonder, would this be how emptiness links to reality? But I don't know yet as to what the reality of the dead versus the alive is, as well as what's really there.